What's going on, y'all? And welcome back to Double M Live. We're back for episode 107, man.
Jeez.
Lucky number 7, bro. Moving on up here on Double M Live. You already know who it is, man. That's Mr. Mike Nice. DJ Mees. Mike Nice, bro. We just went on a freaking wild heat wave here in Massachusetts. Just survived it. How you feeling?
Yeah, if you're from the Massachusetts area, if you're from the Boston area, you know that the last week, as we were here recording on July 26th, the week prior to that, I'm talking 95 plus every day.
Yeah, bro.
People laid out, butt naked in front of the fans, butt naked in front of the AC.
It's bad. We're not used to that type of heat.
Gotta stay cool by any means necessary. It was wild around these parts. But, you know, we survived.
We here?
Hopefully y'all survived. And, you know, we pushing through. Summer's still going strong. Hopefully everybody's staying cool. Everybody's staying safe. And you know what it is when you see us too. It's Double M. So we're making it happen.
Double M to the moon. We here in warm studios, brought to you by Bet Online AG. Mike, let's not waste any time, man. This is what we are here for. It's some serious business, serious matters.
Okay.
It is July 26th. So that means on July 24th, Sunday morning, I had woken up from my slumber around like 7 a.m. And you know, naturally, like we all do, we just go on our phones. As soon as I had woken up, I got a notification. And it was one of those notifications when you see a name, your heart just drops. Like, oh, this might be some shit. 7 o'clock in the morning, you're getting a sports notification. Something's going on. It says Shams, and that's all I saw was Jaylen Brown trade. I said, there's no way. I was shook. Started sweating. I said, there's no way. What's going on here? Click on the link, and you know, as we all know now, a couple days after, you know, Celtics have offered Jaylen Brown to the Brooklyn Nets for a package deal to acquire Kevin Durant. And that's how my Sunday morning started. I think everyone who woke up that Sunday morning was alerted to that news, and it just became madness from there.
Yeah, you was talking about you woke up at 7. Me, I had woken up much earlier than that to use the bathroom. My stomach's feeling a little funny from whatever I ate the night before. Aside from the point, I was up early to use the bathroom. Woj dropped that tweet at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., which coincides.
How do you choose violence at 2:30 in the morning, Woj?
It coincides with around the same time I would happen to be using the bathroom. And you know, most of the time people go sit down and use the bathroom. I brought my phone with me to look at my phone. What the heck's popping? What I missed from last night? I fell asleep. Woj drops that tweet at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, yo, Woj, bruh, I don't know where you are right now.
2:30 in the morning.
Clearly you're not on Eastern time, because Eastern time is still, most people's asleep. I usually was asleep, but like I said, my stomach was bubbling a little bit. But yeah, Woj dropped that tweet 2 in the morning, and I'm reading like this. What's going on? What
was Woj's tweet? Because I only saw Shams at 7.
The Celtics are same kind of thing that Shams said. Celtics engaged in trade talks, Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. Same type of thing that Shams tweeted out. It's just Shams did it at a more reasonable time when people were up and about that could read stuff. Woj dropped it, like I said, 3 a.m. Eastern time. And it's just like, if you're a Celtics fan, your heart drops, because I do believe the majority of Celtics fans do not want to see, let me not even say the trade, do not want to see a trade for Durant. We'll get to that. Majority of Celtics fans don't even want to see this current team broken up in any way, shape, or form. You're talking about a team that just made the NBA Finals. And I know there's probably fans out there pissed, oh man, Celtics played so bad in the NBA Finals. They made so many mistakes. Tatum played Brown. I get all of that. I hear all of that. But at the end of the day, this is a team that has ran into different roadblocks and couldn't get over the hump for the last couple of years, but they finally got over the hump, sorry. They finally made it to the finals, and in my opinion, like I've said many times, whether it be on this show, whether it be talking to other people, unfortunately, they just ran into a superior team. Like I've told people before, a lot of the mistakes they were making throughout the playoffs against Milwaukee, Miami, a little bit against Brooklyn, they swept Brooklyn, but a lot of mistakes they were making against Miami and Milwaukee, they were making them same mistakes against Golden State. But Golden State's not a dummy team. They capitalized on all those Celtics mistakes, and just being a veteran team, just being a dynasty, a team with championship pedigree, they took care of the Celtics like they should have. And I haven't lost sleep over that finals loss. Obviously, you want your team to win, but I haven't lost sleep over it. They ran into a better team. But still, at the end of the day, they got to the dance. These guys, there was nobody on the Celtics roster who has any finals experience. They got there. So I'm proud about that. And usually, unless your team is like an aging veteran team, you don't break up a team that gets that far in the playoffs. Unless you got guys ready to retire towards the end of their career. If you have a young team, like we all know, Celtics' best players are 25, 26, 27, 24 years old, all in that range. That's their best players. You keep that core together, you build upon that, and see if you can do it again. As long as you stay healthy, hopefully you can do it again. So like I said, for the most part, I don't believe there's Celtics fans out there who want to see this team broken up in any way, shape, or form. They just want to see pieces added to help them build. And then you bring in the Kevin Durant factor. And it's the mighty Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of all time, quite possibly the greatest scorer of all time. There's a chance to get him. And now it brings a big conversation because with all the teams out there, I guess, yes, Celtics can possibly offer the best package to get Kevin Durant.
Celtics package makes the most sense because it's such a weird rule, and I don't know the language behind it, but with the Ben Simmons contract, you can't like bring in another like superstar. So they can't trade for Devin Booker or a Jason Tatum. So the next best thing is a Jaylen Brown. You're telling me, okay, I'm going to get Jaylen Brown, a bunch of picks, match him up with a Ben Simmons and Kyrie, and maybe a Marcus Smart if we keep wheeling and dealing and negotiating. Nets it's a no-brainer for the Nets. But yeah, we'll make that trade. That's the best package so far. On the flip side, Celtics, or I say Brad Stevens, is looking at it like this. Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant. Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant. Oh, Kevin Durant. Easy. That's it. I think we could all agree Kevin Durant is by far a superior player than Jaylen Brown. So Brad Stevens is looking at it that way and saying, I'm going to make that move. Now here's where you messed up. The move didn't happen. Sham found out. Woj found out. The whole world found out. Jaylen found out. Now it's awkward. Now things get shaky. Because as we would have been upset as Celtics fans, like, oh man, why did you make that trade? Or we want to see, we want to see the glory story of Tatum and Brown coming together and winning a championship, because that's the better story. But if we're being realistic, if the Celtics win a championship, Celtics fans are going to be happy regardless.
Yep.
However you win a chip, we'll be happy. So if the trade were to happen, I would have been upset like, damn, I missed Jaylen Brown. But as soon as the season started and KD was dropping 35 points a game, you start to forget things real quick. And if it delivers a championship, cool. But the trade didn't happen, and now there's a leak. Jaylen Brown, and what hurts about the Jaylen Brown thing is we just had to go over this last month when we saw that Jaylen Brown liked a tweet saying, oh, Jaylen Brown is the most disrespected Celtics player. He liked that tweet, and that became a whole theory thing where, Celtics fans started showing mad love to Jaylen Brown, like, no, we love you. Now this happens. And of course, naturally, he tweets SMH, which we all knew was going to happen. Probably those exact words, this SMH. like, wow, this team is doing whatever they can now to just try to get rid of me. It's not good. It's not a good look. I've even gone to the point of why having Kevin Durant on this team could be toxic as hell. But right now you have a toxic situation. You see that Jaylen Brown's a budding star. He played his ass off in the finals.
Sure did.
He was the best player on the Celtics. He's obviously not as revered in the NBA circle as Tatum is. But now he's not even as revered in his team circle as Tatum is. We've seen the media try to break up Tatum and Brown before. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with the media. This ain't got nothing to do with the media.
It's your own team.
Brad Stevens pretty much just said, yeah, Brown can go. If it's for Kevin Durant, Brown can go. And then the flip side, you're looking at Jaylen Brown. You got to tell Jaylen Brown this. Hey, bro, it's not like they're trying to trade you for a Daniel Tice or something. They're trading you for the top 3 player in the league.
Yeah, so
how upset can you really be?
Which makes sense. And I've heard, I've read social media saying like, hopefully Jaylen Brown understands that, his name's in these trade rumors because of who he is. He's a budding star. He's an all-star player. So his name, like, people want you, or, you're going to be in trade rumors because of how great of a player you are, which I get. And this rumor that comes out about Celtics offering a trade to the Nets, like, it's all there. Which, a couple things that are confusing to me or don't somewhat make sense. One, Chris Forsberg from NBC Sports Boston tweeted out a video of a conversation he had with Brad Stevens literally like a week ago. And in that video, Brad Stevens himself is saying, like, look, basically, we're not looking to subtract, we're looking to add. And when I say add, we're looking at, the big man position. We're looking to just add minor things to this team because we already like our team. We already like our depth. So if we can add little pieces here, I would love that going into the season. Obviously, he's not going to come out and fully say, hey, we're trying to trade for Kevin Durant. Yeah. But at the same time, it sounds like a guy who is just saying, like, we're not looking to do anything major.
Yeah, that's tough.
We're trying to just...
It's tough to dissect.
We love our core. We just want to add little pieces here and there. For the most part, that's what they did during the season. I mean, the offseason. They added Brogdon and got rid of a couple things, but added to the team. They signed Gallinari, adding to the team. So, and then even after those moves, even Ime came out like, yo, we just looking to add maybe a big, maybe another additional wing, and, we're good. We feel good with what we have. And then here comes this trade rumor from Woj on Sunday morning, whatever. Then another thing that I personally saw, I don't know if you saw this as well, but I forgot who it was, but somebody tweeted out or someone said, it might have been Windhorst, or maybe not Windhorst, I could be mistaken, but someone in the media was like, yo, honestly, this rumor trade is from a while ago, and is more so when Durant first came out saying he wanted to trade. Every team in the NBA was trying to throw packages at the Nets for Kevin Durant, which makes sense. It's Kevin Durant. So this is an old trade rumor or proposed trade or whatever that's from a while ago that somehow got resurfaced now because maybe someone is trying to stir the pot or something. And that also kind of made sense because prior to that Celtics rumor trade coming out, all I was reading and hearing was like, yo, the market for Durant currently is like dead right now simply because Brooklyn is asking for like the greatest trade in sports history, which they should. It's Kevin Durant. So that's why I was kind of confused. Like, I just was hearing a couple of days ago, there's not really much traction for a Durant trade because Brooklyn is looking for something crazy. And then out of nowhere, this Celtics rumor trade comes out. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. We don't know. And then when I saw Jaylen Brown tweet, I was shaking my head. Is that because he's mad that, oh my goodness, he's in a trade rumor at this current moment, it just dropped? Or is he upset because this is old news and it's coming out now again and it's got people talking?
That's the fandom in you, bro. You know damn well that's not why he said shaking my head. Because they wouldn't have bothered him.
Maybe. We don't know. I don't know.
That's the fandom in you.
At the same time, I want to say and believe, again, as a fan, I guess I want to say and believe, yeah, maybe that trade was offered. But somewhere along the way between then and now, I don't know, Brad has to have had a conversation with Jaylen Brown. Because you can't let a trade rumor or something like that come out and you don't have a conversation with your star player. Whether you transparent with him and like, look, you know, this is a business, you know, your name's in, like, I don't know how the conversation goes. Well, if that happens, it happens. Or if that is an old trade that came out weeks ago that just happened to resurface now, I'm hoping Brad Stevens had a conversation with Jaylen like, look, that's old news. You know, we're content with what we have. We believe in you. We want you here.
But my thing is, because there's so much you said that we got to dissect, but let's do it the last one. Why does it matter if it's old news or not? Like, I don't get the timeline. Why does it matter if the trade was asked yesterday or if the trade was asked a month ago? So you're telling me a month ago, Brad Stevens wasn't fine with the roster and he wanted to blow everything up. And then a month later, he's like, oh, okay, now I'm content. We're just looking. A month change. They still lost in the finals after when Durant asked to be traded. Brad Stevens knew how the team was constructed. Brad Stevens knew what he wanted to do. So it being a month ago or it being something that happened last week makes no difference whatsoever. Nothing happened in a month. There was no basketball being played. None of that. The team was what the team was. So it doesn't really matter if it happened a long time ago. You still try to trade for Jaylen Brown. At the end of the day, you still try to trade for Jaylen Brown. I don't think Jaylen Brown, it makes a difference for him. Oh, it was last month you tried to trade me? Oh, okay, Brad. We good now. I thought you wanted to trade me this month.
That's what I'm saying. A conversation, hopefully, I'm assuming, has taken place. Right. I don't know when, where, what time, but as of right now, it looks like all signs are pointing to a trade not happening. According to the reports, again, Brooklyn was like, nah, we want Jaylen Brown and Smart and maybe another player and all your picks. And Celtics was like, yeah, that's not happening. That was the rumor, of course. And the Celtics are, again, sticking to them guns and they're not trading Jaylen Brown and Smart. The roster they have is what they're going to roll with, and there's no trade happening. That's my assumption. So regardless of when it came out, old, new, whatever the case may be, like I said, you're hoping that you smooth things over with your star player. Because obviously, we've seen this many times. I think obviously it's hitting closer to home now because it's a Celtics situation. You know, this is our team, so we're going to feel our way about it, especially players that we've been attached to. We've seen Jaylen Brown. He's going into, year 7?
Yeah.
You know, as Celtics fans, we're attached to him. But we've seen this situation with other teams in other sports. Like, we've seen this before. You're on the trading block, and then you start feeling wanted. Jaylen Brown likes a tweet saying he's not appreciated. Tweeting out, shake my head.
The signs are there,
You're
man.
worried. You're like, yo,
there.
Your star player's feeling like, yo, this is not the place where this place don't really want me, or this is not the place I'm gonna end up being long term, because it feels like even a couple years ago, the Ray Allen situation. They was trying to trade Ray Allen, or Ray Allen was in a couple trade rumors, and he started feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah.
And as much as people got on Ray Allen because, oh man, he left to Miami, he left to Miami, which was our rival at the time. But, you know, at the core of it, people didn't like the fact that Ray Allen left. But on Ray Allen's side of things, he was like, yo, they was trying to get rid of me mad times. I was in trade rumors, I was in proposed trades. Like, I felt a certain type of way. Yes, I went to Miami, which obviously pissed a lot of people off because that's the team that, beat our ass in back-to-back playoff series. But I was feeling unwanted in Boston. The money didn't matter. It felt like they didn't want me here. So I made moves to go somewhere else. Somewhat of a similar situation. Obviously, what Ray Allen was at the time and what Jaylen Brown is right now, Jaylen Brown is a much more valuable player. And you'd hope that the Celtics can do whatever they can to retain him, retain their core.
Yeah, that was tough because now you're looking at Jaylen Brown's contract, and you know he only has 2 years up. 2 years up in his contract, and then he can be gone. You can give him an extension in October. We could say sorry to that right away. He's not signing no extension in October. He's going to hit free agency.
He's gonna want a max contract.
He's gonna want a max contract.
As he should.
And he has, the only thing that could save this, really, in my opinion, because it's starting to look bad. It's starting to look bad. I don't know what type of conversation Brad's gonna have. Winning solves everything. They're gonna have to win. They're going to have to be constantly winning to repair this relationship with JB if he's on this team come training camp and such. But it's not good. It's not good vibes right now with the Celtics locker room with this happening, because it's just awkward.
And in my personal opinion, speaking from my fanhood and whatever, I don't think it's unfortunate that it even reached this point. And I think we had this conversation, talking in our friend group before, like, me personally, like, yo, Brad, why even get mixed up in these? I guess because it's Kevin Durant. Like, how can you not go after Kevin Durant? I guess I hear that argument. But at the same time, like I was saying early in the segment, your team just made the finals. You don't have an aging team. You're not looking to rebuild a roster and reset. You just made the finals. For the most part, your core is under contract and intact for the next 3, almost 4 seasons. You don't have to look to make any major changes because your team's fine. You need to add pieces, obviously, to support those star players, Tatum, Brown, Smart, Rob Williams. But for the most part, you don't need any major changes. You, the GM, Brad Stevens, you are ruffling feathers now. You are making players or your star player feel uneasy because you got mixed up in whatever. From the jump, when Kevin Durant made his trade request, Brad Stevens, Celtics should have never even got mixed up with it. And obviously there's people that's going to argue, like I think I was talking to my brother, like, it's Kevin Durant. Like, come on now, it's Kevin Durant.
You got to do your due diligence.
You got to see what's up with Kevin Durant. But I'm like, Celtics don't need him.
But now
this ain't 2016 when Isaiah Thomas needed help. If they could have got Kevin Durant in 2016, we would have went nuts here in Boston.
Brad Stevens pretty much told the team, I don't know if you guys have it.
Then what was he saying to Forsberg in the interview? Just doing the regular talk.
That's what but Mike, what else is he going to say? What is this, like, you really can't go up there and say, yeah, I think if we had a Kevin Durant type,
I mean, obviously
it would have taken us over the hump.
But she basically was there saying, I'm content with how the team is.
Dude, Mike's shocked that people lie. Like, it's like, yo, bro.
Brad Stevens just seems like a very honest guy.
You and your love for Brad Stevens never made sense to me.
Brad Stevens, the GM, seemed like a very honest, great guy.
You gotta obviously say things that are right for your team. Like that. That's why that Forsberg thing doesn't mean anything to me. Why would that mean anything? You want Brad Stevens. He wants to do his due diligence and see if he can get Kevin Durant. Plain and simple.
But your team got so far without Durant.
He doesn't care. He don't give a damn. And what I was thinking about the other night, whether or not, say Celtics do pull off this trade, I don't know if there's been a team, I'm not going to say NBA history, but I don't know in recent memory if there's been a team that's overhauled their team as much times in the past 5-6 years as the Celtics have. We've gone through some players trying to get in while still being contenders. We've gone through a lot of players, and I'm not talking about some role play. We've gone through some all-stars. IT, we did it with IT. Then we had the IT Horford, IT Gordon Hayward Horford, Kyrie.
IT and Hayward never played together.
Oh wait, IT got traded. Hayward, Kyrie, Horford.
Then Brown and Tatum
on the come up. Kyrie's gone. Kemba in. Kemba gone. You bring in who do we bring in? And you lose Terry Rozier.
You bring back Horford. Smart goes into the start. Celtics, out of all team, have gone through a lot of changes to their roster, trying to get there. And I know you brought it up before, if they can't get over the hump in these next couple of years, we're gonna look back and be like, wow, we did everything we could, and they just could not get over this hump. And maybe that's why Brad Stevens saying, F all this, let's go straight for the jugular. Give me Kevin Durant and let's go straight for it. Let's go all in short term. Because long term is not guaranteed. Yeah, there's been a lot of different variations of the Celtics team while staying in contention. Because even through them IT years, the Kyrie years, the Kemba years, or however long he was here, Celtics was always like, yo, second round Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics was always there and couldn't just get over the hump. But for somehow, some way, they stayed in contention. Brad Stevens, the coach, Danny Ainge, GM, he may not a coach, Brad Stevens now the GM. Like, Celtics have stayed in contention. And I mean, going off of last season, it's the closest they've been. And like you're saying, maybe Brad Stevens like, yo, forget trying to get close. If we could get like some future Hall of Fame player here who's currently still decent in his prime, let's get him. My thing with getting Kevin Durant, and let me make sure this is clear. I've been a Kevin Durant fan from the moment he came into the league. You know, even go back to that 2007 draft when Celtics was supposed to get one of the top 2 picks, or the top pick. I was like, yo, we get Kevin Durant, that's great. Obviously, we had Paul Pierce, so it was kind of tough. So maybe people was leading the Greg Oden way, but I was like, yo, Kevin Durant is a force. But either way, he came into the league, OKC, and even the Seattle Sonics. I love Kevin Durant's game from the jump. I still love Kevin Durant's game. Kevin Durant, the person, whole different story. Kevin Durant, the basketball player, solid. And we had an opportunity to possibly get him in 2016. They sent out the freaking dogs to talk to Durant.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk.
Bro, they said Kelly Olynyk's the IT was there. They said Tom Brady.
They said Tom Brady
to talk to this dude.
That was nice.
And I feel like from what I read, Celtics was like his next option if it wasn't the Warriors.
Everyone says that. Yeah.
We don't fully know, but until Durant comes out and says
I'll tell you why Durant didn't go. He saw Brady. He said, wow, this is crazy. Robert Kraft, the Brady, IT.
And that's it.
And then he saw Jay Crowder and Kelly Olynyk.
I don't blame him for not coming here.
Said, yeah.
IT was, all-star, like MVP, almost caliber. But the rest of the team sucked.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for choosing Golden State. But that was the time the Celtics really needed Kevin Durant. I mean, I didn't lose sleep over it because I never thought he was coming here. Because at the end of the day, Kevin Durant didn't really want to be here in 2016, even though we somewhat had a good presentation for him. But he didn't really want to be here. Even fast forward to now in 2022, like he supposedly gave out his preference of teams. Celtics wasn't on that list of teams. And in this day and age with the rumors and you hear, oh, this player has this preference. Even with this rumor coming out, it's not like there's something dropping and saying, well, Kevin Durant would be open to playing in Boston. There's nothing like that. So to me, Kevin Durant don't even want to be in Boston. He does not. Did it back then, does it now. And then on top of the whole Kevin Durant situation, we have to remember, Kevin Durant's a great player, going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot, all of that. The man's 34 years old.
Yeah, 34. Probably 35 by the season start.
Probably 35. Either way, he's moving to the back end of his career. So you don't necessarily know how many more amazing years of Kevin Durant you're going to get. Like, you don't know because he's getting older. So you get Kevin Durant on his team and Tatum, because obviously Tatum ain't winning nothing by himself. You need a solid team around him, Tatum, Durant. You're hoping to get a championship in the next
2 years.
2 years? Because you want Kevin Durant to stay at his
That's the
peak?
window.
2 years? Why you want to have a 2-year window? Again, it's Kevin Durant, but you're hoping in them 2 years the team stays fully healthy, everybody's clicking on all cylinders, you can get a chance to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, Brad's looking at it like this. I have a greater chance to win a championship in this 2-year window than I have a greater chance of winning a championship in this 6-year window.
But that's crazy.
That's how he's looking at it.
And which, obviously, I'm not in his position, but my thing is like, if you have two guys, you have Tatum on a contract for what, 4 more years, 3 more years?
4 more years, yep.
You have Jaylen Brown on a contract for 2 years. And obviously, again, in this day and age, most teams, as long as a team is pretty good, most players, as long as the team is pretty good, that Celtics can give him the most money when it comes time for a contract. Yeah. Jaylen Brown will most likely sign back here. Maybe even team friendly because, like for the most part, he got a good relationship. I don't know.
That man signed with Donda. There ain't no team friendly.
All I'm saying is the Celtics can give him the most money. So the chances of you holding on to Tatum and Brown together for longer than these next couple is very possible. With that being said, knowing you have 2 all-star players, your window, because these dudes are only 24 and 25 years old, your window extends for another 5-6 years, as long as you can put solid pieces around them.
Well,
I love Durant. It ain't the time.
Durant could stay away from this team as far as possible. That dude's not a leader.
Please tap into that part.
Let's keep it a buck here. Durant is not a leader. We already know how this team is with leadership.
Yeah, questionable.
It's very questionable. You're gonna bring in a guy like Kevin Durant. He's fantastic basketball player. He can't galvanize his team to win games. That's just not who he is. He's never been that guy. People always used to get at Westbrook back in the OKC days of, oh my God, Westbrook's the one that has taken charge. Durant's just not that guy. He's never been that guy.
Amazing player.
Amazing player. He's just not. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
What Charles Barkley call him? You're not the bus driver.
And he's just
a passenger on the bus.
And know what's crazy?
Something like that.
When Barkley was saying that, I thought that was ridiculous. It's like, all right, Barkley, you're doing too much. Durant's proven Barkley right. And that's a ridiculous take, but he's proven Barkley right. Like, yo, how do you run away from this type of grind with 4 years left of your contract when you just came off an MVP year?
You asked to go to Brooklyn.
Like, it's sad. It's really sad that you could stoop that low to leave. And then if he was to lose, then if he was to come to the Celtics, that would be the second time he's jumped on a team that beat his ass the year prior. It just doesn't look good. Durant needs to, I don't know, he needs to stay in Brooklyn. 4 years is crazy to say I want out.
It's unheard of. I can't remember. I think you said Ben Simmons did something similar.
Yeah.
Because he had a couple years on his contract left. But yeah, players asking out with multiple years on their contract don't make any sense to me. Obviously in Ben's situation, well, actually, no, what am I saying? Ben Simmons signed a contract extension to stay in Philly originally. Kevin Durant signed with Brooklyn to be there long term. Not only signed with Brooklyn, you signed a contract extension to stay in Brooklyn. And now all of a sudden you want out. And typical Durant or most players nowadays, they're not going to come out and give no reason behind it. But obviously to the public, it looks very weird and suspicious, and they're questioning your character and who you are and your heart and your leadership, because this is a team you wanted to sign with. You was a free agent and you could have signed anywhere. You chose to sign with Brooklyn. And now after 2 years, and Brooklyn, for the most part, I mean, obviously we don't know all the inside information, but Brooklyn ain't do bad by you in any way. Anything that happened on that team was Kyrie's choice. James Harden asked to be out because he just didn't want to deal with the nonsense over there. But like, Brooklyn didn't do wrong by Brooklyn, the organization, in my opinion, didn't really do wrong by Durant in any way. Anything that happened wrong in that organization was the players. And the fact that Durant wants out of there because the players messed up the opportunity to be a successful team, not the organization, because they tried. They signed you. They signed Kyrie. They trade for Harden.
They changed the coach.
They signed some veteran players. They did whatever they can to put a team together in Brooklyn for y'all to be successful. But you still want to get out of there.
And like, you leave Golden State due to the fact that you want the challenge, right? You want to be the guy. You want to have your own team. You can't come to Boston and be that guy.
Sure won't.
It's Tatum. Mm-hmm. Tatum's easy, that's our bread and butter, homegrown. What team are you gonna go to and you're gonna be that alpha? Sure, you might be the best player,
but you're not gonna get the love.
Yeah, Brooklyn was you.
Yeah,
Brooklyn was ready for that type of player, and it was all you. And you had the pieces to do so. We saw it. We saw it the year before.
And obviously, he ain't answering no questions. He not taking no interviews because, those are the questions that's going to get asked to him. And from the latest I read, Kyrie was like, look, I think Kyrie was asking for a trade out still. But I think what I most recently saw was Kyrie was like, look, I'm going to play out my year in Brooklyn. With or without KD. And KD needs to rethink his thoughts and just be like, look, there's a chance I could get traded to some dumbass team. And then I'm going to be on a dumbass team for the next 4 years. Because if you get traded to the freaking Kings, because Brooklyn can do whatever the hell they want. Brooklyn can take whatever small pieces Sacramento has and all their future draft picks. Brooklyn can do whatever they want. KD needs to rethink this. Because you could go to Brooklyn, you still have 4 years. You could get traded to Sacramento. You still have 4 years left on your deal. And then what you going? You're just going to be on a sucky Sacramento team?
And the thing is, you're Kevin Durant. So whoever you get traded, whatever team you get traded to, the team's got to gut their team.
Like, you're not going to be playing with any of their star players.
They gotta gut their team to get you. So you're just gonna be the number one with nothing there for you to grow it. You want to go play with Phoenix? Okay. Good luck. Booker and them won't be there. You want to play with Miami? Bam is gone. Like,
Hero.
You think Brooklyn's stupid?
Nah, Brooklyn not. Durant needs to rethink this whole situation. Like, your boy Kyrie said he's going to stay the next year there. Durant needs to just be like, you know what? Maybe I guess I'll revisit a trade next season if we're not successful. But like, Durant needs to rethink this. And from all reports, it don't look like he's rethinking no trade. He still want to get traded out of there. Again, it doesn't make sense.
Brooklyn, take your time, Brooklyn, till you find the right package. Just mind your business with the Celtics. Move on from there, but let's move forward, because this whole Kevin Durant situation don't make no sense. It almost gave me a heart attack on a Sunday morning. All I saw was Jaylen Brown in trade, and I saw Shams, and I already knew it was real. So I said, oh God, please, what am I about to read here? Thank God it was just a proposal, but another crazy week of NBA off season. Well, speaking of crazy weeks, we are sponsored by BetOnline AG.
That's right, Marv said it. We are sponsored by BetOnline AG. And BetOnline AG is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Find reviews and news of every league including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use the mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use the promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
And moving on to a crazy week, Comic-Con just was this past week here, and a lot of DC news, a lot of Marvel news, MCU news. It was very exciting, but the main event was the Wakanda Forever trailer that dropped. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We all have questions on what the Black Panther 2 movie would look like. We knew that, once it was called Wakanda Forever, we would explore a lot of Wakanda and, get to see new characters. But the trailer dropped, man, and it is beautiful. Beautiful, emotional, the music, the visuals. I mean, Black Panther is a beautiful looking movie in itself. Just visual-wise, it's a very beautiful movie. Second movie looks like it's going to be just like that. I've been seeing people on Twitter, obviously this is recent bias, but a lot of people on Twitter like, this is probably the best MCU trailer that's ever dropped. I don't know about that, but recency bias, obviously. I don't know of another trailer that got this much traction. I mean, a lot goes in, not only recency bias, but Chadwick Boseman passing away, the emotional factor behind it and such. But it's definitely getting a lot of buzz, and it got me super excited to see this movie. Mike, we were just having a conversation maybe a couple weeks ago on just like, we don't really know what's happening with Phase 4. Phase 4 is like, we thought we had a direction, and then they added different things, and then some movies were involved and some movies weren't involved. But Kevin Feige has, he came out and he spoke, and I'll speak about what some of the things Kevin Feige said in Comic-Con. But onto the back to the trailer. What were your thoughts when you seen the trailer?
Definitely emotional. Obviously, that feeling wouldn't have been there if it were not for, Chadwick Boseman passing away. Chadwick Boseman passing away, knowing how great of a job he did in the initial Black Panther movie. You lose him, and then from the moment he passed away, obviously, rest in peace, praise to the family, friends, and loved ones. But, to fans of his work, the big question was, what the heck is going to happen to Black Panther? Because, majority of people believe he killed that role, not only in Black Panther, but Avengers, Captain America, the couple of roles he had as Black Panther. Everyone loved him portraying that role. So immediately the question jumped to, what is going to happen to the next Black Panther movie? What is the future of Black Panther in future Marvel movies? So it was wait and see mode. I think for a while, Marvel didn't even know what they were going to do. Yeah. There was a lot of rumors out there of, do you recast a new Black Panther? Do you, maybe not do another Black Panther movie because this guy had such a major role and now he's not here. There's a lot of different question marks of what to do. But they decided to push forward with making a movie, and, they decided to use the opportunity with making a Black Panther 2 to pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman. And it looks like from the trailer and, from different things I've read, this movie is a real huge tribute to him, paying respects to him, acknowledging his role as T'Challa. It looks like that's what they're going to do with this movie. And once you watch the trailer and, even from the opening couple of scenes from the trailer, it looks like they give you straight scenes from like T'Challa's funeral.
Yep.
And you see his sister and his mom, a couple of the characters emotional because, you know, obviously Ryan Coogler, the MCU, like they're not shying away from the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away, and they're tying within in the movie like T'Challa passed away as well. I'm very curious to see, you know, how they play that out or how they describe that. Are they just going to be honest and like be like, yo, T'Challa was sick and he passed away, or they're going to try to use some other type of story? I don't know. I'm curious to see how they do it, but I like the fact that they didn't waste any time, you know, making sure that they let people know, yo, we're acknowledging him. Yes, he passed away. The character passed away, and they got right into that. But I'm also curious to see how they tie it in, because, you know, with these Marvel movies, you want to see how they tie in, how they connect, how they bring in new characters, how they connect characters from other movies. You're curious to see what all of that looks like. But recency bias again, the trailer was dope.
Trailer was dope.
Trailer was amazing.
Trailer, there's a lot in this trailer. So we see there's a lot to break down. Obviously, you bring the funeral, what it looks like, right? When they're all in white. Usually, obviously you see a funeral, everyone wears black. This is Wakanda. I'm guessing they all wear white during the funeral. We see T'Challa's mother, and it's a very interesting scene where she goes, "What do you want from me?" Something around those lines. I lost everyone I'm the head of my family, and I've lost everyone. It's funny because she still has Shuri, so I'm thinking that's a flashback to when there was the snap. When there was the snap, and T'Challa got snapped away, Shuri got snapped away. So I'm guessing maybe they have a flashback scene where she might have had to be running the show. That was a very like powerful scene in that trailer. We see Namor in the movie, Atlantean, and he's also a mutant. So now we're starting to see mutants come in to the MCU. We already saw Miss Marvel, who's a mutant. Now we see Namor as a mutant. So we know the X-Men are coming eventually. So that's exciting. Ironheart, they have a really cool scene with Ironheart where she's pounding in the metal and the heart comes out. Just, tribute to another fallen soldier in Iron Man who passed away in the MCU. So that's going to be cool to see. And I'm pretty sure I read that Ironheart's going to have her own Marvel show. So that's cool to see. But I think everybody's talking about the last scene of the trailer. The music was dope, tying in No Woman, No Cry, and Kendrick Lamar's We Gonna Be Alright. But the last scene, you see a Black Panther, and then, what do you call these? Fangs?
The claws.
The claws come out, and we all want to know, who is that? Who'd you say? You said Shuri as well? You think it's Shuri?
I thought it was Shuri for sure.
I also think Shuri's the one who becomes the new Panther. One of my theories I was just telling you, Mike, prior to the show, is I believe they're gonna try to resurrect T'Challa. Something goes down. The AT aliens. I'm listening too much. Outcast. The Atlanteans come attack Wakanda. They need a Black Panther. They've gone as far as they can without one. They try to resurrect T'Challa, and they don't, obviously. And I think, hear me out, just a theory, I think Killmonger arises. I think they bring back Michael B. Jordan in this movie. I think that's the big twist of it all. Killmonger arises, because some people were thinking about, when there was talk about recasting, do you bring back Killmonger and have him? But I think Killmonger arises, and he's an ally in showing the ways of how to be, don the suit of Black Panther. Because if you look at the suit, it's black and gold. I don't know if people are realizing that. Black Panther is not black and gold. Doesn't matter. All the different Black Panthers they've been in the MCU, they're never black and gold. This one is black and gold, similar to Killmonger's. Killmonger has to play a role in this somehow. He was a fan favorite. This is a Coogler movie. I think
Michael B. Jordan is his boy.
I think we see Killmonger in this movie. That's one of my theories, because there's a scene also where they're in the room when you revive the Black Panther and flames come out. So save this clip.
Marv here with the wild predictions.
It's a wild take, I know.
Wild take, wild predictions. I don't know. I mean, obviously Marv going on predictions. I cut right to the chase. Marv said that. I went straight to Wikipedia and looked to see if this film was under Michael B. Jordan's upcoming movies and whatnot.
Right, they're not gonna do that. MC way too smart.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't do that for
Spider-Man.
They didn't do that.
I was just checking. They didn't do that for Spider-Man when I was looking for Tobey Maguire and what's the other dude?
Andrew Garfield.
And Garfield. They didn't drop those hints on Wikipedia with no type of they're cast in this movie. I looked for that for Michael B. Jordan. Didn't see it, but they did it for Spider-Man. They could possibly do it again for this movie, and Michael B. Jordan possibly coming back as Killmonger. So I won't rule it out. It'd be amazing. It'd be wild. I think obviously still my top choice is Shuri taking over as the new Black Panther, or popping up in that suit. Somebody's in that suit, and obviously it's not going to be somebody prominent has taken on the role of Black Panther, which is why they put that scene in the trailer. I'm curious to see. That movie's going to do numbers. Comes out November 11th.
I'll be there November 10th, 11:59 p.m.
You know, that movie's
with
gonna do numbers.
On.
That movie's gonna do wild numbers. The thing is, the first Black Panther did wild numbers.
Yeah, it broke the record at the time.
First, and then this movie, obviously, again in the wake of Chadwick Boseman's death,
it's gonna
do crazy numbers, because people want to see what type of direction they're gonna do after losing such a prominent character like that. So yeah, I'll be there. I don't know what the date is. I don't want to wait too long, because I don't want people to see it, and then, this day and age we live on social media, people talk. People gonna ruin it. I don't want to be a part of the group of people that get it ruined. I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to watch what's gonna happen.
On this smart too. I believe that's like Veterans Day or something.
The 11th of November. Let's see here. The 11th of November is.
Am I bugging?
It is Veterans Day Friday.
This smart.
Woo!
Yeah, they're gonna break.
They're gonna the whole world about to. Yeah, honestly, that whether it be the 10th at 12 or Friday, if you go try to book tickets to that, you got to do it like
ASAP.
the day they release those tickets, because movie theater is gonna be packed. I might not even try to worry about the rush. I'll probably try to catch it maybe Sunday or something, because I'm not trying to deal with that Friday night rush, that Thursday night rush, Saturday.
That's the beauty of it, being in the theater with all those people. That's the beauty of the Marvel magic.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, still got some time. We don't know when they're going to release the tickets yet. But again, that movie is going to immediately shoot out to the top.
It looks really, really good. I'm excited for that.
And then really quickly, he's talking about the different phases and how Comic-Con, they talked about movies coming out, whatnot.
Phase 5 and Phase 6.
Yep. So,
by the way, Black Panther ends.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Phase 4 ends with Black Panther, and then some new things that were the new movies that they said were coming out within Phase 5.
Yeah, I think it starts off with Ant-Man. Starts off with Ant-Man, and I'm tired of them making Ant-Man such a prominent character. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You always gotta watch Ant-Man movies because something important happens. It's annoying, bro. I'm not trying to see Thanos and Ant-Man movies and them, but they're always important. And this Ant-Man movie is going to be very important because we get to see Kang again. Kang is going to come back for this movie. And if you watch Loki, probably one of the best TV shows that had come out last year.
So yeah,
we're gonna see, and Feige, what I was telling you about in Comic-Con, he was pretty much saying, yeah, Kang's our new Thanos. He's our new big villain. He's gonna be. We're very excited for what's his name, Majors. I think his name is Major. We're really excited for Majors to be there. If you know anything about Kang, and if you watch Loki, spoiler alert, multiple personalities. There's multiple versions of him. So that's going to be hella fun. We get to really see him in action in the Ant-Man movie, I believe. But I think the big news with all the phases is the two Avenger movies.
Yep. After you get through phase 5, which is Ant-Man, Guardian of the Galaxy 3, The Marvels, Blade. Apparently there's another Captain America. I didn't even know that till this morning.
Yeah, with the new Captain America.
Yeah, and then Thunderbolts. I'm not sure what that is.
They're Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad.
Okay. So then you have that. Then phase 6. Ooh, bring me back here. Phase 6. Then the films that are going to be a part of phase 6, Fantastic Four, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars. I don't really care to talk about Fantastic Four. I know you don't.
Yeah, but not a big fan, but it's going to be important.
Most likely. But if you can, because I know you really understand this Marvel and everything, if you could give a brief synopsis, obviously, and I was talking to some other friends about this, obviously what apparently happens in the comics won't be what's portrayed in the movies. Mm-hmm. But if you were to give a thought and idea of what Kang Dynasty could be like and Secret Wars could possibly be like in terms of live action film, what do you expect from those next 2 big Avengers movies? Because obviously people's going to think, well, they got 2 coming out. They must be like Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be that. But the fact that we're getting 2 Avenger movies in the same year, nuts. Like, they're not playing around. They're giving us all these.
Is the preliminary date for Kang Dynasty, and then November 7th.
Right.
They're both 2025.
Yeah. Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are very different, but it makes a lot of sense. So what I believe, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but Kang Dynasty is going to be the Avengers coming together and trying to take down Kang.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. It's going to be multiple versions of Kang that they're going to have to defeat. It's going to build up to it perfectly through all the movies that we see going on. And then you got Secret Wars. Secret Wars is one of my favorite comics of all time, and I'm super, super excited that it's finally looking like that's going to happen. Because when you looked at Phase 4 with all the multiverse stuff, you're like, okay, are they going to do Secret Wars? But they never said anything. And then this past couple movies, you're looking and like, oh, what's going on? We're going to get a Secret Wars. And now we're talking about all different types of superheroes meeting up. You can get back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in that movie again. It's stupid because you're pretty much taking, it's the Watcher takes everybody, all the superheroes, puts them in a universe and says, yeah, cool, fight each other because this is interesting. You guys have heroes and all this stuff, villains, and you guys have superpowers. I want you guys to fight.
Oh boy.
In this universe. And and you could get different versions of different characters and whatnot.
That's nuts.
So like
different versions of Avengers.
Different versions. You could get different versions. It's nuts. It's really nuts.
I'm trying to think because right now in Phase 6 they only have 3 movies announced. I wonder if they're gonna stick with those 3 movies or maybe they might add something in. I mean, if they were gonna add something, I'm sure they probably gonna play around. Yeah. They probably announced that, but right now they only have.
They'll add more. There'll be more TV shows
as well. Like Daredevil's coming back.
And with Secret Wars, you need Doctor Doom, and obviously, Fantastic Four. Big Doctor Doom villain for that, and I think I was telling you, Mike. I think Doctor Doom plays a role with Wakanda Forever movie. think he plays a role here. We were talking about all the mutants and stuff. There's a comic where Doctor Doom tries to steal vibranium from Wakanda. And I think this is how he's going to use the Atlanteans. He's going to use Namor. And that's how we're going to fire this thing up to end Phase 4. Because if you're going to end Phase 4 with Wakanda Forever, something's going to happen.
Yeah, to kick off Phase 5, something crazy has to
Something's going to happen.
Okay. See, this is good because for, a novice Marvel person like me who don't really know about the comics, who only just been watching the movies, I just can't wait to see how they tie it together. Like within the first 3 phases, it's like, oh man, this related to that, this connected to that, and they brought it together with Infinity War and Endgame. Like, it was beautiful to see. I can't wait to see how they do these next 3 phases and make that happen.
I know people are complaining about, oh, it's so short, but because the first 3 phases, the what do you call that? The Infinity Saga.
Yeah, Infinity Saga.
The Infinity Saga was what, 10 years of a build-up?
Expanded from 2008 to 2019.
11-year build-up. And this multiverse saga, I believe, is what they're calling
4
it.
years.
It's 4 years. But it's probably like double the content.
Because they didn't have this many TV shows in those first
it's probably
3 phases.
Even this phase, like people, there's a lot of hours of Phase 4. We have a lot of shows. If you think about WandaVision, you think about
Loki.
Those are movies, right? They're just split up into 6 episodes, but they were shot and filmed as movies. So that's a lot of content that we got to move these series forward.
Yeah, Marvel now playing just when we thought Marvel was like, yo, they all over the place. Marvel just let y'all know, like, yeah, don't get it twisted. We know what we're doing here. And it's crazy because literally before this conversation or Comic-Con happened and they dropped all this shit, I was just talking to one of my cousins, like, yo, because Marvel seems like they're all over the place, is there a chance DC can, try to take advantage of this whole time where Marvel seem like they're all over the place? Maybe DC can jump back into the race and put some stuff out there. But Marvel dropping what they did at Comic-Con literally shut that down.
Yeah. I know you love DC so much.
I'm a DC man. I'm a DC head at heart.
Even if DC strung 5 great movies, it doesn't. But they got a lot of catching up to do.
MCU is just
MCU's a force. One thing I want to say with what Kevin Feige also mentioned is he said, look, some of the content we're gonna drop is gonna have to do with the multiverse, and some of them are just gonna be standalones. Like we had that. He pretty much said we have the right to do whatever we want now. We can give you guys some standalone movies, and you guys can enjoy for what it is. And we're also gonna give you some things that are building up to a new story.
Which was the standalone? Like, okay, Thor: Love and Thunder was a standalone for the most part.
It was a standalone for the most part, but they added some things there that are gonna, like, I don't want to be a spoiler. I think it's still a little too soon to spoil Thor. So
you would say Wakanda Forever is gonna tie into a lot. I think once they hit Phase 5, things are gonna really start tying in. Ant-Man and Wasp. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy might be a standalone because I feel like them dudes is tapped out. Like Batista and them, I feel like they're like, yeah, we had enough of this.
Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy, they need to wrap that story up.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might be the last we see them do. I feel like the Marvels will tie in. Yeah. Blade, I'm still iffy. Captain America, I don't know much about the Thunderbolts.
Even if you think about like the first Black Panther movie, that was a standalone in a sense.
For the most part, yeah.
They'll add things in the end to just keep things around, but that's a standalone movie.
Well,
but some DC news, because you're a DC guy, before we wrap up, because Comic-Con is not just MCU, it's also DC. For those who like Superman, who are a fan of Superman, he said he's willing, to come back and reprise as Superman. Like,
they need to figure that out.
He's down. He's down to do a Man of Steel 2 because, he wants to go back with the Snyder thing, where say, okay, you saw Superman as on the come up with Man of Steel. Then you saw it get dark and Superman go evil and such in Batman versus Superman. Now you want to close the arc of Superman being Superman now, being really who he is and stuff. So he wants to really do that. I think he's gonna probably reprise in a couple of short cameos in some Superman movies, maybe in a Black Adam or something like that. So, you know, he wants to still be involved in DC. So we'll see if DC, you know, corrects that.
I'm looking at DC's possible future films. I'm not even going to get into that. But sure looks like MCU know what they're doing, and it's going to be great to see. Obviously, the next movie coming out for them, I believe, will be Black Panther in November. And like I said, the world is watching. The world is watching. But yeah, Marv, episode 107.
107, man. The trend just keeps going.
We got some more surprises on the way. Make sure you stay locked in with Double M. Stay locked in with Warm. Be on the lookout for more great content, because that's all we going to bring to the table is Double M to the moon.
Double M to the moon, man. We out here. This is Mike Nice, DJ Means, Double M, and we out.